Why Pakistan became the only nuclear power in the Muslim world. The story of Pakistan's rise as the only Muslim-majority country to acquire nuclear weapons is not just about technology, politics, or strategy. It is a story of survival, of resilience, of pride, and of a nation that refused to bow down to pressure, coercion, or the looming threats of its adversaries. It is the story of a people who, against all odds, built one of the most advanced defense programs in the world to ensure that no enemy could ever challenge their existence again. And today, when the world speaks of nuclear powers, Pakistan's name is etched with respect, fear, and recognition. But how did this journey begin? Why did Pakistan choose this path? And how did this nation of remarkable courage manage to stand tall against all challenges, not only securing its borders, but also gaining admiration across the Muslim world and beyond? Let's go back to the beginning. Pakistan was born in 1947 out of immense struggle and sacrifice. From the very first day, the new state was confronted with an existential challenge: its powerful neighbor, India. The partition left Pakistan with fewer resources, fewer industries, and weaker infrastructure compared to India, yet the young nation was determined to stand firm. The early wars, especially in 1948 and later in 1965, proved that Pakistan's survival would always depend on its ability to defend itself. The 1965 war showcased the bravery of Pakistan's armed forces. From the army soldiers who defended Lahore with their lives, to the legendary pilots of the Pakistan Air Force, who destroyed Indian aircraft at a ratio that shocked the world, Pakistan proved it would never bow down. But the bitter experience of 1971, when Pakistan was dismembered and East Pakistan became Bangladesh, drove home a painful truth. Without strategic deterrence, the very survival of Pakistan could be threatened. It was after this tragedy that the nation resolved. Never again, the nuclear journey began under Prime Minister Zulfikar Ali Bhutto. He declared that Pakistanis would eat grass if necessary, but they would build the bomb. And from that day forward, Pakistan's brightest scientists and engineers worked in secret, facing sanctions, isolation, and pressure from global powers. The world did not want Pakistan to succeed, but Pakistan's resolve was unshakable. While India tested its first nuclear device in 1974, Pakistan quietly accelerated its program. And by the late 1980s, Pakistan had achieved nuclear capability. But the moment of truth came in 1998, and India once again tested nuclear weapons, hoping to assert dominance in the region. The world pressured Pakistan to stay silent to avoid a response. Billions in aid were promised if Pakistan did not reply. But Pakistan was not a nation to be bullied. Within weeks, Pakistan conducted its own nuclear tests in Chagai, Balochistan. The mountains shook, and the Muslim world rejoiced. Pakistan had become the first and only Muslim country with nuclear weapons, and it sent a message loud and clear: Pakistan is here to stay. The pride of those days still resonates in every Pakistani heart. The Chagai tests transformed Pakistan's image overnight. No longer was Pakistan seen as weak or vulnerable. Instead, it was recognized as one of the few nations on Earth capable of defending itself with the most powerful weapon known to mankind. But the nuclear program was not just about prestige. It was about survival. Surrounded by a hostile neighbor, Pakistan needed the ultimate guarantee of security. And the nuclear deterrent provided exactly that. Today, every Pakistani knows that their country cannot be coerced or invaded without catastrophic consequences for any enemy. But Pakistan's story of resilience does not stop at nuclear weapons. Its armed forces, from the army to the air force to the navy, have proven time and again that they are among the most capable in the world. The Pakistan army is battle-hardened, trained through decades of defending borders and fighting extremism. It is one of the largest standing armies in the world, with professional discipline that has earned global respect. The Pakistan Navy secures vital sea routes and has developed its own submarine-based nuclear deterrence. And then there's the Pakistan Air Force, the pride of the nation, known for its courage, precision, and technological mastery. Pakistan Air Force pilots have written their names in history. From Alam's record of downing 5 Indian aircraft in 1 minute during 1965, to the recent events that once again stunned the world, that moment came with Operation Sindoor. India, emboldened by its modern Rafale jets and its belief that it could bully Pakistan, launched a secret mission aimed at Pakistani territory. But what happened next would humiliate India on the global stage. The Pakistan Air Force was ready. Using advanced training, strategy, and sheer bravery, the Pakistan Air Force intercepted and engaged India's aircraft. In the skies above, a dogfight erupted that would be remembered for decades. When the dust settled, India had lost 7 of its fighter jets, including Rafales. Pakistan had not only defended its skies, but it had dealt a blow so severe that the world could no longer ignore it. For Pakistanis, it was a moment of pride. For the enemy, it was a moment of shame. Even the White House could not stay silent. U.S. President Donald Trump himself, addressing reporters, acknowledged the magnitude of loss.
The war with India and Pakistan, that was the next level. That was going to be a nuclear war. They already shot down 7 jets. That was raging. And I said, you guys want to do trade? We're not doing any trade. We're not doing anything with you if you keep fighting. You got 24 hours to settle it. They said, well, there's no more war going.
And suddenly, Pakistan was at the center of international attention once again. A country that had been underestimated, that had been pressured for decades, had just proven that it could take on one of the largest militaries in the world and emerge victorious. This victory was more than just a battle won. It was a statement. It showed that Pakistan's nuclear weapons were not its only shield. Its armed forces, with courage, skill, and cutting-edge technology, were capable of defending the nation against any threat. And the world noticed. Soon after the failed Indian operation, countries that had remained neutral or distant began to side with Pakistan. The United States acknowledged Pakistan's capabilities. Russia, with its long history of defense expertise, expressed interest in stronger ties. China, Pakistan's time-tested friend, stood firmly by its side. Iran extended solidarity. Turkey and Azerbaijan, brotherly nations, openly praised Pakistan's achievement. For the first time in many years, Pakistan was not being spoken of as a victim of regional tensions, but as a decisive power shaping events, and the recognition did not stop there. In a historic development, Saudi Arabia, one of the most influential nations in the Muslim world, signed a new defense agreement with Pakistan. This agreement was not just symbolic. It signified that Saudi Arabia trusted Pakistan to be the shield of the Muslim world. It was an acknowledgement that Pakistan's strength, its nuclear deterrence, and its battle-proven armed forces were assets not only for itself but for all Muslim nations. For Pakistanis, this was a moment of immense pride. The sacrifices of decades, the struggles of scientists, the bravery of soldiers, and the resilience of the people had all led to this. Pakistan was not just a country defending itself. It was a rising power, respected and admired by allies around the globe. The rise of Pakistan's nuclear weapons, combined with its conventional military victories, has changed the balance of power in South Asia. No longer can India dictate terms. No longer can Pakistan be pressured into submission. Instead, Pakistan stands as a nuclear-armed state, backed by one of the most skilled armed forces in the world. And every time its adversaries test its resolve, Pakistan responds with strength, courage, and unity. But perhaps the greatest achievement of all is the spirit of the Pakistani people. From the scientists who worked in secret labs under constant threat of sanctions, to the soldiers who guard the borders in the harshest conditions, to the pilots who risk their lives in aerial combat, every Pakistani has contributed to the nation's defense. This unity, this resilience, is what makes Pakistan truly unstoppable. The journey has been long, filled with hardship and sacrifice. Yet through it all, Pakistan has emerged stronger, prouder, more respected than ever before. Today, when the world looks at Pakistan, it sees not just a country of 240 million people. It sees a nuclear power, the only Muslim nation to achieve this status. It sees a nation whose armed forces have humbled a larger enemy. It sees a country that has defied odds, resisted pressure, and stood tall against every challenge. And above all, it sees a people who will never compromise on their independence. Their sovereignty, their pride. The story of Pakistan's rise as the only nuclear power in the Muslim world is far from over. With each passing year, Pakistan continues to strengthen its defenses, modernize its forces, and build alliances across the globe. And as long as Pakistan remains united, resilient, and determined, no power on earth can shake its foundations. The world has learned this lesson the hard way. From the deserts of Chagai to the skies of Operation Sinjor, Pakistan has written its story in courage, sacrifice, and victory. And the message is clear: Pakistan is here to stay, proud, resilient, and unbreakable.